All right, this is as far as I can come out of my house because if I go any farther, I will be breaking quarantine rules. Let me explain. If you've been following me for any period of time, you know that in the last 3 months or so, I have been in Arizona. And that was to get some treatment done on my spine because I was getting all these crazy headaches and all these crazy symptoms that I thought might be attributed to my spine not being in alignment. I'm back now. But the government has mandated that you need 3 COVID tests before you are clear, plus a 14-day quarantine. And listen, I understand that people want to be safe and that we want to make sure that nobody gets COVID. And I think the government is just being a little too crazy when it comes to testing and quarantine. I mean, I've already had 2 COVID tests, both come back negative. I just took my 3rd and final COVID test this morning. Plus, this is the long weekend here in Canada, May 2-4. Public Health sent over a public health officer to check if I was inside my quarantine, making sure that I was not violating quarantine rules. Listen, I feel sorry for the guy who had to work his long weekend to make sure that people aren't violating quarantine rules, but I think it's getting a little excessive. Anyway, enough with the politics. Today, I thought I'd be proactive and show you exactly what I do behind the scenes in the YouTube world, showing what kind of gear I use, just my setup, my home office. I don't know. Just something fun, just something out of the normal. So, if you're ready for it, let's go. Whew, it's dark in here. Whew, stairs. I don't know, maybe I do have COVID. Too soon? Third COVID test, all ready to go, so I'll be putting that out for the Pure later tomorrow. Well guys, this is it. This is my home office. This is where I spend a lot of my time making YouTube videos and making up schemes and designs and all that good stuff. As you all know, I have an apprentice named Max and he's killing it in the shop. I really can't tell the difference anymore between our work, which is a good thing. It's a little scary how fast he's learned. So Max, just don't start your own business. Don't start your own brand, okay? This is one of our Uncharted satchels. It's gorgeous. He did a really good job. Thanks, Max. You are pumping out some amazing work, so thank you. So first things first, I use a PC to edit all my stuff. I used to use a Mac, but Macs were just too expensive. They're getting crazy. I know they're super good and aesthetically pleasing, and they got the new M1 chips in there now, but for the amount of money I spend on a Mac, I can really, really soup up a PC. So that's what I went with. I went with a PC, 64 gigabytes of RAM. I've got a GeForce RTX 3090 card, which cost me an arm and a leg, but working with 4K footage and hopefully soon 6K footage, I needed that. So I went for it. I've got an Intel i9 processor in there, terabyte SSD, Samsung SSD card. To tell you the truth, I don't even know the full specs of that computer. I just went into the store and said, give me the best you got because I needed it to edit stuff. So that's what I got. For studio monitors, I use the Rocket 6 KRK speakers. They are great. They are really flat sounding. So when I mix, everything sounds right. I don't want to be too bass heavy or too treble heavy or too mid heavy. So these speakers work really well for my setup here. I just love the color of them. They're black and yellow and they look sick. When I was looking for a monitor for video, I was not sure what to get. I wasn't sure whether to get 2 flat monitors or go with an ultra wide, but I researched it a lot on YouTube and found that the ultra wides were really popular, and I can see why. When you have an ultra wide display, your timeline for editing videos is really, really long, and you can see almost everything on it at the same time. And that's what I love. I love efficiency, and I love just things going smoother. I decided to go with the second monitor, as you can see at the top there, for my output monitor, so I can kind of see what my video is gonna look on that monitor while I'm messing around here, playing with my timeline and editing down here, which is really helpful. Also, if I want to throw on a movie or Netflix or something while I'm working, I can just throw it up on that monitor and just, you know, chill away. It's been great. I really love that. When I don't want to bother the kids if they're sleeping or I'm working late at night, I'll use a pair of these Audio Technica headphones, ATH M50X to be precise. They're nothing special, they're nothing fancy, but they cover your whole ear, and they're very good monitoring headphones. So again, just in terms of getting your levels right, they do a really good job. They've got leather padded earmuffs and they go around the entire ear, and they plug in. They're not the Bluetooth. I didn't want to splurge. I just needed them just to monitor audio. Just like knives. I got this on my trip in Arizona and I can't stop playing with it. The Benchmade Griptilian, beautiful knife. So if you guys aren't photographers or videographers, you probably wonder what this thing is. I know a lot of you know that it's a soft box, but the grid on here is something super important that I always use. The grid narrows the light so it doesn't kind of splash onto the walls. So especially if you want to make sure to have soft light but not go everywhere, the grid is perfect for that. And I use that 95% of the time, especially when I'm shooting, you know, really moody shots or portraits or, you know, just to create a lot of mood, you want to keep that light nice and focused. This is a chair from a company called Fully. Fully is a really amazing company. I've worked with them in the past and their products stand the test of time. It's very ergonomic and you can sit on it a million different ways. So you can sit on it like this. You can sit on it like this. You can sit on it sideways, like this. It's actually very comfortable. Just too bad it doesn't fit underneath this thing properly. I'm actually getting a new chair. It's just an Amazon chair. I've ordered it and I don't know if it's gonna fit or not. Didn't see too many clearly explained heights or specs on that chair, so we're gonna figure it out. This is my black leather chair and I really like it. It works well, it's comfortable, it's low profile, it says low to the ground. I need a leather chair. If I work with leather, I might as well have a leather chair. So stoked about this chair. I've got another one of these downstairs and the 2-seater is back at the shop so that I can take a nap when I get too tired. So I'm just gonna show you a couple of the cameras I use on a daily basis. I don't know if you knew this, but back in the day, I was a professional wedding photographer and I would shoot a lot of weddings a year, and I've kind of got rid of most of my cameras and then I bought a whole bunch more. So anyway, this is what I use now currently for product photography and just family, everyday life photography. So this is the Fujifilm X-T4. I have invested in a lot of Fuji glass, so lenses, and so I just kept buying Fuji stuff. So the first camera I ever got was the X Pro 2, and it's a rangefinder style camera. It's got the viewfinder off to the side there, and I really liked these cameras. They were incredible, so I bought 2, and that's what I would use for wedding photography. After wedding photography ruined my life, I sold one of them. It didn't really ruin my life. I just got burnt out. I just really didn't like shooting weddings anymore. They weren't fun. And whenever I was invited to a wedding, it was almost like I got that feeling of, ugh. You know that feeling? Maybe, maybe not. So anyway, yeah, I graduated to the X-T4. When I first started YouTube though, I bought an SL2, a Canon SL2, and that was such a cheap camera. It's a Rebel SL2, and the videos that have the most views on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, actually I shot on the SL2. It's just funny, the stuff that you buy, more expensive gear won't solve anything. It's the content you create. So I just gotta keep reminding myself that, because I'm always gravitating more to expensive gear, exhibit B. So, I mean, there are way more expensive cinema cameras on the market, but this one, the Blackmagic Cinema Pocket camera, the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K, that's a mouthful, is the cinema camera that I chose. It's an incredible camera. It's not very expensive compared to most cinema cameras out on the market. There's a few quirks with it, but it's an amazing camera. I really like it. This is the 4K version. I'm looking maybe to sell this and get the 6K version, the Pro that just came out. But this is what I used to film most of my stuff on YouTube right now. So not too long ago, I actually invested in another camera, the Sony a7S III, which is an incredible camera. I really like it. It does almost all of my work now. The autofocus is insane. For those who geek out about equipment and gear, I am actually using the S-Cinetone profile on this a7S III, and it's insane. I hardly have to grade anything. Color is just perfect right out of camera, and I really enjoy it. I could talk about gear all day, every day. I love it. It's so much fun. I have a problem, like I said, but I just love geeking about this stuff. So if you do, drop me something in the comments. Let me know what you guys shoot on or what you're thinking about shooting on, and I'd love to hear about it. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I can't really get out into the shop much these days. I have to wait for another 7 days before I can actually leave this quarantine. If you've ever been in this situation of quarantine in Canada or in Ontario, aka Ontarable, let me know. Drop it in the comments. Let me see how you're dealing with this. For me, not to be in my shop is a little bit frustrating, to say the least. Well guys, that's it. That's a wrap. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If there's anything in this video that you'd like me to expand upon, whether it be gear or software or lighting techniques or whatever I use in my studio to light my stuff, let me know. Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Well, that's it from me. See you in the next one. Peace.